How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. As always, if you guys do want access to the private repository, we did make some changes. All you need to go ahead and do is sign up for the silver/private repository membership tier, and then go ahead and go to the spreadsheet that gets linked to you whenever you sign up. Then you can go ahead and get access to that repository. So that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into what we're working on today. Today we're going to go ahead and continue working on the Explorer page. Specifically, we're going to go ahead and start working on this Explorer for You content and make it so we can actually go ahead and fetch all the content that displays this. So we're just going to go ahead and make sure we can get the content back from the backend. We won't be able to get too far into displaying it, but we'll at least make sure that our backend is working because we didn't get a test that a couple episodes ago. So that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the code and get to work here. Here inside of Vim, let's go ahead and open up our Explorer because we need to make a new component. So inside of our Explorer components, let's go ahead and say explore content / explore content.tsx. Go ahead and make an explore, if I could type, explore content.css. Come to the TSX here, maybe. There we go. And we'll go ahead and import our React from React. Let's also go ahead and import our /explore content.css so we can have our CSS. So here it's going to say export const, and this is going to go ahead and be explore content. Oh my goodness, which is a react.fc. Create our arrow function, and this isn't going to take in any props. Here, let's go ahead and just set up a quick return statement, return, and inside we'll go ahead and open this up. Inside we're going to go ahead and have a fragment, and this is going to go ahead and do some stuff here. So this is just going to go ahead and render the explore page content. So we need to go ahead and make this function. Let's go ahead and do that. So first we're going to say const location is equal to use location. Go ahead and import that from React router DOM. Then we'll go ahead and say const render maybe explore page content. And since we're going to be switching through multiple pages, we're going to go ahead and set up like a switch statement in here to switch between those pages. So we're going to say if our location.pathname is equal to, or actually we're going to say .includes includes, if I could type. And inside here, we're going to go and say /explore / and then tabs /for_u. So if we're in the for you, we're going to go ahead and return the explore for you, like so. Doesn't really matter how we type, we're going to replace it anyway. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and return trending. All right. Now we can go ahead and render that. So here, let's see what's going on here. We have our Explorer page content. I might have typoed something. Go and copy this. And then inside here, we have our fragments. That's fine. Make sure you spelled this right. We did. Return. Let's see what's going on with this here. Let me make sure I actually close this here. There we go. So now we're going to come and work in here every time we want to go ahead and add a new tab to our page here. We'll go ahead and add a new if statement checking for that. So now let's go and add this into our Explorer page. Let's hop in there. Okay, so now what we'll go ahead and do is do this and then do this. And then delete this space here. We can go ahead and import that. Thank you, React, for doing that. There we go. Now we have our Explorer content, and right now we're not going to be able to see much. We go into the front end, we're just going to see like explore for you. So if we open this, it's actually broken. Let's see. Oh, I spelled CSS wrong. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Make sure we spell explore content.css right. Try again. Now you can see we don't really see much. We're still just seeing explore for you, so we need to actually fill that out. So let's go ahead and make that explore for you component, and then what we want to go ahead and do this episode is set up the Redux slice to actually fetch all that content, and we'll just check Redux, make sure everything looks good. We won't really have time to actually fill everything out because we need to make a bunch of individual components to do that. So let's go ahead and hop back into the code and get to working on that. Once again, let's open up our Explorer, come into our components. We're going to say explore, and this is going to be for you /explore for you.tsx. Let's go ahead and make an explore for you .css. We didn't need the CSS for the other one, but it's fine. Import maybe I could type React from React. We'll also go ahead and import our /, and this is explore for maybe for, oh my goodness, u.css. Let's go ahead and export const explore for, I don't know why I can't type u, just a react.fc arrow function, and let's go ahead and do one of these. So here, let's go ahead and return, and this is more or less going to be another skeleton because we need to go ahead and actually make a bunch of things and fetch the data and all that stuff. So for the time being, we're going to go ahead and return a div with a class name equal to, and here it's going to be explore-for-u. And then inside this, I don't know why it did that, we'll go ahead and actually do some logic first, teasing you a little bit. Const and token is going to be equal to our use selector. Go ahead and bring in use selector. We have our state in root state, bring that in. Then we're going to say state.user. And then we're also going to go ahead and say use effect. Go ahead and bring in use effect. Set up a simple use effect here. Inside this, we're going to watch for the token, like so. And then for the time being, we're just going to console.log as a placeholder. And we're going to dispatch initialize explore page. And initializing the explore page takes a little bit of time. We could have done something a little bit more efficient, but it is what it is. We actually want to check to make sure we have a token before we make that request because the user needs to be logged in to be able to see this explore page. Go ahead and actually go ahead and do that. So now we can go ahead and work on this. We're going to go ahead and have a set of curly braces. For the time being, we're just going to say false question mark. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and have a circular, maybe, stop it, circular in progress. Inside here, we're going to have size equal to 20. And then we're going to go ahead and have an SX equal to color and pound. And we're going to say 1D, A1, F2, which is our Twitter blue. Give this a second to install here. And also, let's go ahead and do this part, which is just an empty fragment. We're good to go. Inside here, we're just going to have a few placeholder pieces of content. So we're going to have our explore, explore, maybe. And this is going to be for you news. Then we're going to go ahead and have our explore. And this one's going to be for you trending. If I could type. Next, we'll have the explore for you. And this one's going to be who to follow. Then we'll have our explore for you. This one is going to be topics. Maybe topics. And then we're going to go ahead and have a div, the class name equal to explore-for-u-post. And inside here, we're going to have a bunch of posts, but we need to fetch those, obviously. So basically, we're going to have a content section for the news, a content section for trending, content section for who to follow, content section for some topics. I have a bunch of posts on them, and then just individual posts all listed out. As we get going through these next few episodes here, we're going to go ahead and start creating all these different components, fill this page out, and then we'll also fill out other pages as well with some of these components. But now that we have that finished, let's go ahead and style this component. So let's go ahead and hop into the CSS. Inside the CSS, let's simply say explore-for-u. Inside here, we're going to say width 100%. We're going to set height to, actually this is min height, I'm sorry, min-height. And this is going to go ahead and be 100 view height. And then the height is going to actually be fit-content. So we're at least going to go ahead and fill up the entire page. Otherwise, we'll just let it scroll. Next, we'll say display flex. We'll go ahead and say flex-direction. It's going to be in the column. Then we're going to go ahead and justify content in the flex-start and align items in the center. That's it for now. We'll deal with the post later. So now if we want to, we can go ahead and throw this into the explore content. So let's hop into explore content. Now inside explore content, we're obviously going to go ahead and replace this. So we can go ahead and like delete this, come over here, delete this, okay, and like that. And save. And still, we're not really going to see much on the front end, just a bunch of text, but we can still go ahead and just take a quick peek to see what it looks like. Now on the front end, you can see we have our news, we have our trending, we have our who to follow in our explore topics. We don't see the post because there's plenty of text for post, obviously. And these are all in one single line because we did a whole bunch of fragments, which I'm assuming are just getting interpolated as spans. That's why they're all stacked up like that. But now we get to the fun part, the meat and the potatoes of this episode, and that's going through and setting up the Explorer slice to be able to fetch all of the initial state, which is quite a bit of work. It's going to be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and hop back into the front end and get that working. So let's go open up our Explorer here. Let's go and see if we even have this set up. I think we probably have the Explorer slice created, but I don't remember. We do. So we need to add a bunch of stuff to our slice state here and some other things. So let's go ahead and start out with initializing the explore page is a boolean. That's why we set that one as false, because we needed this one set up first. We still have our search terms, we'll ignore that. We'll have our trending topics. Trending topics is going to be a trending topic array. Go ahead and import that. We're going to go ahead and have our trending news. So trending news is going to be a trending, if I could type, trending news array. Looks good. After trending news, we're going to have who to follow, which is going to be a user array. Let's go and import our user component or object. Then we'll have our topic post. It's going to be topic with post array. Next, we're going to go and have our post. So this is just going to be a post array. Go ahead and bring in post interface. And then finally, we're going to have loading content. Loading content, which is a boolean, which is going to be slightly different than initialize explore page, because initialize explore page is going to take a really long time. So we wanted something different because you could go to a different page and it's doing something slightly different. So that's why I have two of them, I believe, but it is what it is. So now let's go ahead and say initializing explore page. We'll set that to true to start. Then we'll go ahead and have our trending topics, which is going to be an empty array. We'll go ahead and have our trending news, which is an empty array. Next, we'll have our who to follow, which will be an empty array. We'll go ahead and have our topic post, which is an empty array. And finally, we'll have our post, which is an empty array. Now we have our state. Looks good. And I must have missed something. Search term. Oh, I missed the loading content. Loading content will be false. I don't know how I missed it here. Loading and content. Whoops, maybe. Content will be false. I don't know if I end up using loading content, I guess, because whenever I look at the code that I have on GitHub, I'm not even using, or I don't have loading content inside of the initial state. So that's kind of interesting, but it is what it is. Now above our export for the slice, we're going to say export const, and it's going to be initialize explore and page. And it's going to equal to create async thunk. Let's go and import that. Inside, we're going to go ahead and call this explore/init. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and say async, and we're going to set up our arrow function. The payload is going to be a string for this. We're going to have our thunk API, and we're basically going to go ahead and set up a whole bunch of promises here. And then we're going to go ahead and put that inside of a massive array for promise all and then return. Now, it probably would have been a little bit smoother. I would have done these all separately and then done loading states for each one, but then that's going to complicate things. So I'm just going to do everything asynchronously at once and call it a day. So first, we're going to say async trending topics is equal to axios.get. And here we're going to go ahead and get http //localhost 8000 / and this is going to be discovery / and then trending question mark and then count equal to 4. Now hopefully I type all this correctly. That'll be interesting. So headers is going to go ahead and be authorization, maybe authorization, excuse me, like so. Backticks fair, and then $sign curly brace. We're just going to pass in that token. That's why we needed it. Okay, and this is going to be the basic structure of all these, and I don't like how this is looking. Async trending topics. Oh, this should be const, not async. What am I doing? Const trending topics is equal to axios.get. Let's go and import our Axios here. So there is our trending topics. Next we'll have const and then trending news is equal to axios.get. And then it's going to be http //localhost 8000 /discovery. If I could type, discovery slash, and then this one is going to be news question mark count equal to 4. Go ahead and set up our headers again. Headers, clean this up, and then this is going to be authorization and colon backticks there, and then $ payload. Looks good. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Const after this one is who to follow, equal to axios.get again. This one again is going to be http :/ and then local host :8000 / discovery bucket type / and then this one's going to be users / follow question mark, and then we're going to say count is equal to 3. Let's go ahead and set up our headers. So headers is an object. Go ahead and put in authorization and backticks there, $ curly brace payload. There's a non-zero chance that we're going to be debugging at least one of these, so that's going to be fun. Next will be const topic post, and this is the one that takes forever, so that's fun. Axios.get to http : / local host :8000 / and then discovery, because I'm bound to typo one of these, discovery / topics / post question mark, and then count equal to 4. And here we're going to go ahead and say headers, set up the object. Inside of headers we'll have authorization again, and then backtick there, and then $ curly brace payload. Next we'll have const, and then just post is equal to axios, maybe axios.get, and then http : / maybe localhost :8000 / and then discovery / post. And here once again we'll have our headers, open this up, and then here we'll have authorization, and here we'll say backticks and bear $ curly brace payload. So there is all of that. Now we're going to say const results is equal to await promise.all. Go ahead and pass in an array. So go ahead and pass in our trending topics. Here is that space, our trending news. We'll pass in our who to follow. We'll pass in our topic post, and then our post. So now we'll go ahead and wait for all of those results to come through. And I must have typoed trending news. I did. Let's go ahead and fix that. My bigger concern is that I typoed one of these URLs. So if we typoed one of the URLs, I'll have to copy paste it in to make sure it's working properly. And then finally, we'll go ahead and return these. So return an object. So our trending topics is going to go ahead and be results of 0.data. And then our trending bucket type, I spelled it wrong. Oh my goodness. Trending news is going to be results of 1.data. Then we're going to go and have our who to follow, which will be results of 2.data. And then our topic bucket type post will be results 3 of data. And then finally our post will be results 4.data. There we go. So now we go ahead and make all of our requests at once. It's going to go ahead and do it asynchronously, pass back all of our data, and we'll have that to go ahead and basically display on our front end. Now let's go ahead and come down here and set this up. So below our search terms, we need to go ahead and set up a new extra reducers. So extra reducers. Set up this like so. That didn't quite do what I wanted it to. This needs to be an arrow function. There we go. Builder, arrow function like so. We're going to say builder.add case, and then here we're going to say initialize, and this is explore page dot, and then pending. Pending. We'll have our states, and we'll have our action. And let's set this up. Let's make sure this is working properly. It's not. Let's see. Extra reducers should be colon builder with an arrow function. Looks better. We're going to go ahead and return dot, and then state, comma, and then loading content. be true. So we do use loading content. Fair enough. Then we'll have our builder, builder to add case, and this is going to be initialize explore page dot fulfilled, fulfilled. Then we'll have our state, our action, and our arrow function. I didn't get the arrow in. There we go. So now we're going to say const who to follow and users. You go to action dot payload dot who to follow dot map. Fun times. So here we're going to go ahead and say this is kind of funky. Who is going to go ahead and be a user, and then it's going to go ahead and have followers, the user array. And let's go ahead and set up the arrow function. So I didn't want to create a whole new object for that, so made it a little bit messy here, but now we need to basically combine these. We're going to say const followers is equal to who dot followers. Followers, because remember our follower, who to follow had a special object on the back end, and then here we're going to say return, and this is going to go ahead and say dot who dot user, and go ahead and pass in those followers. Probably could have done this slightly differently, but it is what it is. Okay, so now we have the followers mapped to actual users. Now let's go ahead and return, and we're going to say dot state. Let's go and update the state. So initialize explore page will now equal to false. We don't need to do that anymore. And then we'll go ahead and say trending topics is going to go ahead and be action dot payload and then dot trending topics. Next we'll go ahead and have our trending news will be action dot payload type dot trending news. Then we'll go ahead and have our who to follow will be action dot payload dot who to follow. Next we'll go ahead and have topic post to be action dot payload dot action or dot topic post. And then finally we'll have post is action dot payload dot post type. And then finally we'll go ahead and say loading content. It's going to go ahead and be false. And let's make sure we don't have any errors. We don't, and I messed one of these up. So who to follow should not be this. It should actually be who to follow users. So who to follow users. I'll just end the flow there. So now we're going to go ahead and take those custom objects that have the user and then their followers separate, combine them, and then we'll just have regular users. So since that's an async thunk, we don't have to do anything to export it. We've already exported it. So now what we want to go ahead and do is hop back into our explore for you content and actually, or I guess it's not content, just the explore for you component, set up the use effect to actually call this thunk. And then we'll go ahead and see inside of Redux after everything's loaded, make sure that everything got fetched properly, or see if I might have typoed one of these URLs. Let's go ahead and hop into the explore for you component here. So now instead of console.logging, we need to set up a couple things. Let's come below our token. So const, we're going to go ahead and say initializing explore page. We're going to have our trending news. We're going to go and have our trending topics. We'll have our who to follow. We'll have our topic, topic post, and our post is equal to use selector. And then we'll have our state and root state. Go ahead and say, maybe state dot, and then this is going to be explore. So now we have our data there. Let's come down below here and delete this console.log. Now, if we get a token, we actually need to go ahead and have a dispatch first. So const dispatch, get ahead of myself. And this is an app dispatch, import that. It's equal to use dispatch, import that as well. Now we can get into actually fetching this. So if we have a token, we can go ahead and say dispatch. And this is going to go ahead and be initialize explore page. And then we need to go ahead and pass in the token for the user. So now instead of saying false, we're going to go ahead and say initializing explore page. And if we are, we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead and import our initialize explore page. Oh, I typed this wrong. Initialize explore page. import it. There you go, looks a lot better. Now, obviously these are mad at us because we're not using them, but we're going to go ahead and go through and use them later on. So now if we have a token, now if we get into this page, we probably should have also checked if, well, no, because if we come back, we want to reinitialize it. That's fine because it reloads. But basically we're going to see if they're logged in here. We're going to go ahead and fetch the data. And then if it's loading, we'll show the loading spinner. So now we can go ahead and hop into the front end. It's probably going to be mid fetch here. So we'll give it a second and then watch like the network tab. I don't want to overload the backend. But then we'll also open up the Redux just to see if the data comes in, and also see if we have any errors. If we have any errors, I probably typoed one of the URLs and I'll copy paste them and we'll just double check all of those. But enough yapping, let's hop into the front end. So I don't see any errors, so it's good. Let's come into our network tab, network, and you're not gonna be able to see anything right now. So let's just go and refresh. If you come in here, we should see a bunch of stuff popping up. So you can see we have like trending, news, so on and so forth. These are going to probably take a little bit of time to resolve here. So let's give it a second, and let's also go and open up Redux really quick. So open up Redux in a window. It looks like Explorer and init did in fact go through, so it wasn't actually too bad whatsoever. We go into Explorer, let's see. So we have trending topics here. We have 4 trending topics, looks good. We go into trending news, we have 4 trending news. We go into who to follow, we have 3 people to follow. And if we go on the topic post, we have that. Now post doesn't seem to have gone through. Oh wait, I typoed something. Let's go ahead and fix that. Let's go back into the Explorer. So I typoed, so here we have post and I must have done it here. Yep, so let's go ahead and fix this. Make sure that's an S. And let's hop back in and make sure it's still looking good. Now if we go ahead and give this a refresh again, we see that it's loading. It loads in, and now we go into Redux. Now hopefully it says posts instead of post. So if we go into Explore, if I could find it, there we go. There we go, now we have post, everything looks good. So now we have all of the data that we need to start doing and filling this out. So in the next episode, we'll go ahead and start making these individual components here on the For You page. And then after we get that done, kind of like doing the trending and news and all of that stuff, doesn't really take that long to get everything filled out, because we're going to be able to reuse components and things like that. So if you did enjoy, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here with the YouTube algorithm. And if you do want to see where we start from absolute scratch to get to the point right now, there's going to be a playlist that pops up on the end card coming right up. And also I want to go ahead and say a special thank you and shout out to all of the members that go ahead and make this channel possible. If you guys do want to go ahead and join a channel membership just to support, there's going to be a link in the description down below. And that's also how you gain access to the private repository for this project. With that being said, y'all, hope you have a great day. This has been Ethan, our Koder, and I'll see you all in the next video.